The electronics industry grew rapidly in 1963. Revenues reached a record $15 billion, and electronic sales were up 9%. The National Defense Program and America's aerospace effort continued to provide the major market for electronics. Government expenditures represented 60% of total revenue. The past year also saw increased emphasis on micro-miniaturization as industry researchers developed many new tiny electronic devices. The introduction of the laser was hailed as the most dramatic electronic development since the transistor. More and more computers came into use in 1963 to control operation of entire industrial plants, in-office automation, and in the processing and keeping of records. What's ahead for electronics? Here with some predictions is James H. Binger, president of Honeywell.
The electronics industry is looking forward to major gains in the year ahead, especially in business and industrial computers, industrial controls, miniature circuits, and color television. The nation's defense program requires more and more electronic equipment. And there are promising markets in space exploration. Electronics is just beginning to tap its potential as a vital and essential tool for industry, commerce, education, the farm, and the home. New products, new markets, and the pressing need for plant modernization should push electronic sales to another record in 1964.
The chemical industry had another year of solid growth in 1963 with record sales of $35 billion. Profits were up too. As costs continued to climb, chemical companies sought new ways to cut expenses, drop unproductive items, and increase the profitability of established facilities. There was increased emphasis on chemical research activities. Approximately 30% of all American scientists were employed in chemical fields in the past year. The industry continued research in pesticides, pointing out that if properly applied according to directions, pesticides are of tremendous value to mankind. Plastics had vigorous growth in 1963 for the third consecutive year, as many new commercial uses were found for plastic materials. Agricultural chemicals, man-made fibers, and industrial chemicals also had good growth. Here now with a look ahead is Herbert D. Dohm, president of the Dow Chemical Company.
Continued growth and good health are the prospects for the American chemical industry in 1964. The past 5 years have been a period of readjustment for the chemical industry, the sometimes painful but essentially healthy result of increasing worldwide competition. In the future, I believe it will become clear that those with depth in research, production, and marketing know-how will enjoy the growth in profits expected of an industry with virtually unlimited opportunity. We in the chemical industry look forward to the year 1964 and beyond as a new opportunity to contribute to the growth of this nation and the world.
During 1963, television as a form of mass communication reached new heights. More than 600 television stations transmitted news, entertainment, and educational programs. The telephone remained basic to personal communication. Americans made 300 million calls every day during the year. 250 million miles of telephone wire was in use, enough to stretch from the Earth to the Moon 1,000 times. More than 3.5 million new telephones were put into service as industry revenues topped the $11 billion mark. There was new emphasis on the use of telephone lines for transmission of business data and messages. Business machines literally talked to one another over long distances at speeds of 2,400 words per minute. And during 1963, several new American communication satellites were placed in space. With more on new developments, here is Donald C. Power, chairman of General Telephone and Electronics Corporation.
1964 will be another record-breaking year for the communications industry in terms of greater traffic, expanded facilities, and increased revenues. To prepare for the growing needs of the future, many new techniques of putting people in touch with one another are being developed. Electronic switching equipment will ultimately provide many new services. We are also experimenting with the use of light waves to carry conversations. The communications satellites orbiting the Earth at this very moment symbolize the unlimited future of the communication industry as we look for new and better ways of getting the right information to the right place at the right time.
In summary, business in 1963 was excellent, and surveys show that the American consumer is entering the new year in a buying mood. New tax legislation should provide added momentum for the economy. Although unemployment remains a problem, business and industry are striving to retrain displaced workers and create new jobs. The nation was shocked by the death of President Kennedy, but the business community's first reaction to his successor, Lyndon Johnson, has been one of confidence. Early in 1964, the gross national product is expected to hit the record $600 billion rate, a milestone no nation has ever approached. And so, we enter the new year with optimism. This, then, is the outlook for 1964.